Welcome, age of vintage society. Pin-up models defined the early 20th century. They were on every poster and movie in the United States of America during the 20s and 30s. They defined fashion and beauty, but from the hundreds of young pin-up models of that age, there was one that stood out among the rest. Anne Sheridan. How Anne Sheridan melted down men's hearts. Make sure to watch the video until the end and leave your thoughts in the comments. If you are new here, join our wonderful community by subscribing to the Age of Vintage channel. Anne Sheridan was an actress that appeared in lots of magnificent movies from the 30s and 40s, including Indianapolis Speedway, It All Came True, Ladies Should Listen, and Angels with Dirty Faces. Anne was the most wanted oomph girl in entire America. Her splendid and sublime figure left everyone craving for more. She had a strong magnetism that made everyone want her. But there was something beyond her looks and physical appearance. She had a charisma-like essence that made a beautiful woman more attractive still. However, saying that Sheridan was loved just for her image is like saying Elvis was admired just for his body movements. Always remember, looks don't matter at all if you don't craft a talent or ability. Needless to say, Anne Sheridan had lots of them. She could act and she could sing. Her marvellous voice seduced both men and women all across the continent, and her scenario techniques were praised and applauded even by directors and executives. Interestingly enough, before her acting career soared, Anne Sheridan considered investing her time on the sports field. Seems like a futile detail, but it is not. Just think about it. Every athlete requires a good level of determination to succeed and to win any match or competition. Of course, Anne Sheridan had such a healthy amount of it. She had the intentness required for a successful vocation in the entertainment world. Truth is, if it wasn't for that, she would probably have given up early on. After all, it took a lot of years to get a lead role in a movie, but every failure and every tiny victory was a step on the Hollywood ladder, a ladder she knew would climb to the top. She had warrior blood running through her veins, a fire from within that radiated outwards and shone brightly and fiercely, but that flame was warm enough to make everyone get close to her, but not too much. The famous Anne Sheridan was born in Texas in February of 1915 by the name of Clara Lou Sheridan. She was the youngest of 5 siblings and the daughter of a car mechanic, George W. Sheridan, and a homemaker, Lula Stewart. Her father, George, was the grandnephew of Civil War Union General Philip Sheridan, who among his accomplishments as a war general and sergeant also became instrumental in the success of the Yellowstone National Park. It seems that the surname Sheridan was bounded for success way before the 20th century. But unlike her ancestor, Clara Sheridan wasn't interested in becoming a sergeant or receiving prestigious praise because of her war achievements. On the contrary, she was more into dramatics and singing, 2 skills honed to the limit, both while she studied at Denton High School and North Texas State Teachers College. She used to sing in the college stage band, where she felt at ease. However, there was definitely a bit of warrior within her DNA. She may not have entered the battlefield, but she played basketball for the North Texas women's basketball team. Maybe the basketball court was the battleground for her. Anyway, it seemed that she excelled in the sports. She was quite athletic and had the energy and determination to win every match she played. Sheridan was planning to enter the teaching field, which no doubt would have turned out in a successful career, but the fate written in the stars had a bigger surprise waiting for her in her late teen years. The wonderful movies we got with Anne Sheridan are a result of a move made by her oldest sister, Kitty. Kitty was well aware of her youngest sister's beauty. She was gorgeous. So what did Kitty do? She took a picture of Clara Sheridan in a bathing suit and sent it to a beauty contest. There is no chance my sister's losing the contest. She just got it. She'll be the winner, Kitty thought. And she was right. In 1933, an 18-year-old Clara Lou Sheridan won a beauty contest with the help of her oldest sister. The prize? A bit role in the movie Wagon Wheels. The movie Wagon Wheels was distributed by Paramount Pictures. After Paramount executives saw how good of an actress Sheridan was, they offered her a contract where she could earn $75 a week for the next 2 years. Sheridan appeared in lots of films such as Bolero, College Rhythm, Shoot the Works, The Lemon Drop Kid, Ready for Love, and 1 Hour Late. Clara Sheridan was slowly laying the foundations for what was going to be a huge career in the film industry. With the help of Paramount's drama coach Nina Moose, Sheridan improved her talents and worked on many more movies. One of the biggest milestones in her career occurred when she recorded the film The Milky Way. Before that, Sheridan appeared by her real name, Clara Lou Sheridan, in the movie credits. That was only the case if she was even credited at all. However, it was in that movie that she gave in to what was left of that young basketball teenage player. In this movie, Clara appeared credited for the first time by the name of Anne Sheridan. A few years into the future, she would become the most desired oomph pin-up girl in America. Sheridan cast for a movie called Behold My Wife. This film helped her to stand out because of a terrible scene where the character that Anne plays attempts to take her life. Despite having such a relevant role in the movie, she continued playing more bit parts in films such as Enter Madame and Rumba. Luckily, she got herself a lead role in the movie Car 99 with famous actor Fred MacMurray. Anne was such a great actress that it came naturally to her. She later claimed that for Car 99 she didn't even have to act. All she did was play the lead role. If that statement is not evidence of her great abilities, then I don't know what is. Anne had such audacity and a strong curriculum behind her, but even that wasn't enough for Hollywood standards. You see, the City of Angels can be a wicked place. Anne did a couple of films more for Paramount, including Mississippi and The Glass Key. Later, Paramount declined to renew her contract, and Anne was on her own. Of course, lots of actors and actresses have had similar experiences in the past. Sadly, most of them lacked the persistence to keep on with their dreams and gave up their acting careers. This, however, wasn't the case with Anne Sheridan. She had a warrior ancestry, and she was not planning to give in so easily. Therefore, she kept trying and got a role in the movie Fighting Youth for Universal Pictures. She did her job, but again, she was lacking a long-term contract that could ensure her financial stability. Eventually this happened when Warner Brothers caught an eye on her. They offered her a contract in 1936, and from there her popularity skyrocketed. She made some films such as Sing Me a Love Song and Black Legion, but the real deal was San Quentin, a 1937 drama that was shot on location at San Quentin State Prison. In this film, Anne Sheridan sang for the very first time and reached thousands of ears with her beautiful voice. For the audience, Anne was now not only an actress but also a musician, which only enlarged her reputation as a talented woman. The public eye, however, was not the only one interested in her talent and gracefulness. Warner realized that they were working with a top-notch female fatale when they saw her on Letter of Introduction. The result? Warner offered her better and bigger roles for movies such as Angels with Dirty Faces. By 1939, Sheridan was already one of the most desired and sexy women in the entire United States of America. She earned herself a nickname in March of the same year when a committee of 25 men voted her as the actress with the most oomph in America. For those who are unaware, the term oomph is used to describe someone who has a certain attractiveness and unexplained charisma that commands male interest and desire. And boy, did she deserve that nickname. Her gorgeousness drove men crazy. 1 week after being selected as the most oomph woman in the country, Anne Sheridan received over 250 letters. What were those letters about? Contracts? Someone offering roles in movies or posters? None of them. They were all marriage proposals. Over 250 marriage proposals. She melted down men's hearts with her body and gentle face. But was it just her gorgeous face and hot body? Of course it wasn't. There was something beyond that facade, something inexplicable that made everyone crave for her presence. Not any beautiful girl receives 250 marriage proposals within a week, that's for sure. What was it then? According to actor Rex Harrison, it was her extraordinary magnetism and directness. He liked her because of her distinctive quality of earthiness that never transcends to blatant sexiness. Despite all the attention-grabbing of that nickname, Anne Sheridan wasn't feeling comfortable with it. On the contrary, she totally loathed it. She was the most wanted pin-up actress out there, yet she wasn't comfortable with it. Truth is, one of the reasons she didn't like the nickname was that, in her own words, it was the sound that an old man makes when bending to tie his shoes. Seems that comedy was yet another talent of hers. Anne might have hated it, but one way or another she found a way to make peace with her image. She accepted the facts for two reasons. First of all, there was the harsh reality that nothing would change that. It was a fact and she had to take it. And second, and most importantly, she knew that being the most desired oomph girl was the key to her career success. Anne later stated that if it wasn't for her oomph reputation, she would have been locked in the chorus forever. No doubt her pin-up, femme fatale reputation earned her better roles in bigger movies. Some vivid examples of that are in the 1939 movie Indianapolis Speedway, where Anne Sheridan was top billed, and The Angels Wash Their Faces, starring the future-to-be President of the United States of America, Ronald Reagan. Also 1 year later she made her first starring vehicle in It All Came True, a musical dramatic comedy where the popular song Angel in Disguise was introduced. Anne Sheridan reached more than the mere silver screen. In 1943 she became the heroine not of a movie, but of a book. She became the protagonist of a novel called Anne Sheridan and the Sign of the Sphinx, written by Katherine Heinsfeld and published by Whitman Publishing Company. In this fiction, Anne is involved in a type of detective plot that revolves around saving a young woman from a dangerous cult. But that book was also a turn on the page of her life, because Anne took a year off of the movies after that. The reason was that she toured with the USO to perform in front of the GIs overseas, and she went as far as China. There's a memorable story here in which Anne impressed one of the pilots by signing his plane in chalk, refusing to accept a short-snored bill offered by the pilot. Her USO tour, however, was more of a vacation rather than a real change in her career. She returned to the movies in 1946 with One More Tomorrow, being one of her last Warner Brothers appearances. According to Anne, Warner didn't offer her satisfactory scripts, so in April 1949 she said she wanted to produce a movie of her own. The movie was Second Lady and was based on a story by Eleanor Griffin. Unfortunately, they fired her, but Sheridan was not going to accept defeat so easily. Remember, she had warrior DNA, and life was a war that she expected to win in the long run. She sued them for $250,000, an equivalent of more than $2,700,000 today. In the end, Sheridan won $55,162, almost $600,000 today. Fair enough. It seemed working as a freelance didn't work for Anne, thus she signed with Universal and made Woman on the Run in 1950. Some other memorable movies she worked on are Steel Town, Just Across Street, and Take Me to Town. 7 years later, Anne Sheridan appeared in her last movie, Woman and the Hunter, which was shot in Africa. She later performed in staged tours of Kind Sir and Odd Man in 1958 and 1959 respectively. In those shows she performed together with Scott McKee, who would later become her husband and her last marriage. She had previously married Edward Norris in 1936 and divorced in 1938, and later in 1942 with George Brent, a marriage that would barely last for a year. Anne moved to TV, where she worked on different programs such as Wagon Train, while filming the TV western comedy Pistols and Petticoats in 1966. Anne got really ill. She didn't give up and continued working despite her pain. In 1967, the 19th episode of the western comedy aired. The episode aired the same day Anne Sheridan passed away, on January 21, 1967. She died of esophageal cancer. Anne has been buried in the Hollywood Forever Cemetery, but her memory hasn't died. She's still alive in the thousands of cinema lovers and modern pin-up amateurs. Her legacy continues to live on. If you liked this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you are new here, and if you want to support my work, please visit my Patreon page. And Sheridan was voted the most attractive oomph girl. These actresses in the golden age of Hollywood were so beautiful that the audience could hardly believe they were real people. Watch this video and find out, why was Virginia Mayo the proof of the existence of God?